Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
We're following two big breaking stories off the top here at 5. First, health officials order a mandatory quarantine for residents of 30 large houses in East Lansing.
But we want to start with breaking news happening in Oak Park. A 12-year-old boy is dead after police say kids were playing with a loaded gun and it went off.
Let's get right out to Victor Williams live at the home on Saratoga Street where it happened. And Victor, you just spoke to the father.
Yeah, that's the case. We know that there is a 15-year-old that is in custody, and that 12-year-old has since then been identified as LaDamian Williams. But we did speak to his father, like you just said, and as you can imagine, he is totally heartbroken. Lavez Williams' life forever changed on 12:30 Monday afternoon.
I just lost my youngest son.
Police say Lavez's son, LaDamian Williams, was shot and killed in this home on Saratoga, the result of juveniles playing with the gun they had just found inside.
My understanding is it's just a tragic mistake. You know, kids being curious.
But what exactly happened? Lavez says that he had just left the house for a brief moment, leaving the kids to do their schoolwork.
When I left out the house, he was actually cracking jokes on his older brother because he was still doing work in school.
What happened is still very much under investigation from police, but as of right now, a 15-year-old is in custody. That just so happens to be the same 15-year-old who is the son of Lavez's girlfriend. And going forward, Lavez is making sure that his son's legacy will live on.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss him. Damo was a different type of child. He was different. He was very charismatic.
And as you can see, the father is still here just trying to process all of this at this point in time. As far as what's going to happen to that 15-year-old, the prosecutor is going to have to decide whether or not charges are to be filed. Reporting live tonight in Oak Park, Victor Williams, Local 4. Back to you.
Just awful. Okay, Victor, thank you. Well, now to more breaking news happening right now in East Lansing. Officials with the Ingham County Health Department have ordered a mandatory quarantine for residents of 30 large houses.
23 of them are fraternity and sorority houses. The rest, large rental houses. All have had known exposure to COVID-19. Priya Mann following that story. And Priya, I know you just got off the phone with the health department for the latest.
Yeah, that's right, Devin. And health officials are calling this a crisis, saying cases have just exploded. Now, in some instances, students refuse to give over their information for contact tracing, making it next to impossible for health officials to determine who may have been potentially exposed, which is why they took a more drastic measure.
I'm very concerned, which is why this was a hard decision, but it was a necessary one.
Ingham County Health Officer Linda Vale says students in 23 fraternity and sorority houses and 7 large rental homes must quarantine for the next 2 weeks.
I'm disappointed, sympathetic, because I know that they just want to enjoy a normal college life. And my message is that we can get them to something closer to normal than where we are right now if they do the things we need them to do.
People who live in buildings with a known exposure to COVID-19 must stay in their homes unless they need medical care or necessities that can't be delivered. People who don't live in those buildings can't go in unless they're providing an essential service deemed necessary for the immediate health and safety of the resident.
The astronomical number of cases that we have in this county at this point in time, we have the highest cases per day per million in the entire state right now.
The decision by the Ingham County Health Department comes after its case count increased by 52% since August 24th. Overall, the county's positivity rate has hovered between 2 and 5%, but the Michigan State community has a positivity rate of 11 to 15% within the past 10 days. More than half of new cases in Ingham County are in East Lansing, and the majority of all new cases are MSU students.
If they want a spring semester that is face-to-face learning, if they want an MSU basketball season that they actually can watch and enjoy, then this has to stop because we're not going to get there.
And Vale says parents have been calling her wondering if their kids can come home. She says the health department is working with MSU to determine whether or not kids can leave and go home. But if that happens, those students are still required to quarantine for the next 2 weeks. Reporting live, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
All right, Priya. Now to brand new information. We're learning about a hunting accident in Clay Township over the weekend. We have learned the 11-year-old victim has now died from his injuries.
It happened in the area of Benoit Road, not far from River Road on Sunday. Sean Lay is live tonight. Sean, the victim and his family were out hunting as part of some kind of event, right?
The DNR's Youth Deer Hunt Day and weekend should have been a memorable day for this 11-year-old with his family. Instead, Kimberly, a terrible shot was fired just as it was getting very, very dark. EMS was there trying to save this boy. They heard another shot nearby. His mother was hurt.
Like most of these, it's something that's absolutely could have been preventable, and that's the shame of it.
Tragedy striking in Clay Township. An 11-year-old, his mom, his stepdad, on his grandfather's property near Algonac, taking part in the DNR's Youth Deer Hunt Sunday. Earlier, the group shot a deer. Sunset was at 7:40, and the group was out looking for that deer. It was about 8 o'clock. Darkness setting in. The group still had their weapons. What happened next?
Absolute shame.
Clay Township Police Chief Michael Coach says the 11-year-old stepfather fired a shot.
At this point, we believe they thought they were shooting at a deer, and one of the rounds struck the young man.
That 11-year-old was rushed to McLaren-Macomb, then transferred to Children's Hospital in Detroit, where doctors tried to save him, but couldn't.
That's the only way you can really put this, is absolute tragedy.
The boy's mother scrambling to unload the weapon after her son was shot and accidentally shot herself in the hand. Even though the investigation is leaning towards an accidental shooting, the stepdad was taken into custody based on his criminal past.
What we're going off of right now is some past criminal history that kind of ties everything together.
The DNR also investigating if the family followed all of the safety laws and rules. All hunters must wear blaze orange. Chief Coach himself teaches hunting safety classes.
We can't stress enough the importance of following all the proper rules, the proper laws.
Back here live, just awful situation here. All of this remains under investigation. We are told the stepdad being held at the St. Clair County Jail, likely on possible charges of being a felon in possession of a weapon for being out there with that weapon. The request may be made to the prosecutor very, very soon here. I've been in touch with a family member of the 11-year-old. You can imagine, guys, they are just devastated tonight.
Yeah.
Live in Algonac, Sean Lake, Local 4.
Yes, the chief said just an absolute tragedy, Sean. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Let's move now to the coronavirus case count. Now, this is a count from the past 2 days, which is now the new model for Monday since there's no count released on Sunday. So the past 2 days, state reporting 1,088 new cases of the virus, along with 10 more deaths. Also, for the first time, the state is reporting the number of cases in K through 12 schools and colleges.
Here's a look at the numbers. The state says there are 14 new outbreaks at schools. 9 of those are colleges. 5 are K through 12. Our Grant Herms joins us now. And Grant, these numbers do not look good for schools, especially for college campuses.
They really don't. Colleges and universities had the worst number of cases. And while that comes as no surprise to health officials, this pandemic is far from over. Using newly released data, some of the state's largest colleges are hotbeds for COVID. Michigan State, 203 cases. Adrian College, 229. Central Michigan, 238. And Grand Valley State with nearly 440 cases. Compare that to just 33 cases total in pre-K through 12 schools.
And these social gatherings, that's one of the key drivers of a lot of these outbreaks, is people gathering in social settings and not wearing a mask. Even if you have a gathering that's outside, if you're not distancing appropriately, that's still a reasonable risk.
The number comes as the governor and health department push to increase transparency in COVID tracking. Earlier this month, the governor describing data on schools as real time.
We are working to make sure that we've got more real-time reporting and greater, ability for parents and community members to see what's happening locally.
But that's not the case. According to the Department of Health, districts are supposed to disclose the number of cases to their local health departments, which then pass those on to the state every Thursday. But the state doesn't make those numbers public until Monday, meaning cases could be more than a week old before parents and community members are told.
To me, the biggest downside of the availability of information is that people might assume that if there is no outbreak, they can let their guard down. That's not true either. You should always assume the spread of COVID is potentially just a few breaths away.
Dr. Khaldun also said she's very concerned about the fall and hopes people re-up their commitment to proper hygiene and social distancing as we move in here. She said also get your flu shot to avoid a twindemic this year.
Yeah, so Grant, from what we understand, once these numbers are up, they're only there for data purposes. The contact tracing happens elsewhere.
Yeah, these numbers are only just collected by the state. While the state does post addresses and number of cases, it's the local level that has the names of these people and are likely already doing the investigating and contact tracing once these numbers are made public.
Yeah.
Back to you.
Okay, Grant, we appreciate it.
There are now 50 days to go before the election. Today, both presidential campaigns turning their attention to the western wildfires. The president also facing criticism today for holding another large indoor rally in defiance of laws aimed at stopping the spread of COVID. Alice Barr following it for us from Washington. Alice.
Devin, the twin environmental crises of wildfires in the West and a hurricane in the Gulf are putting the spotlight on climate change today, and the two campaigns are responding in very different ways.
With 50 days to go until Election Day, President Trump and Joe Biden are both ramping up their campaigns.
Vote, vote, vote.
Biden voting early today in Delaware's statewide primary before zeroing in on the climate crisis, taking center stage as wildfires rage across the West and the Gulf Coast braces for impact from another hurricane.
Donald Trump's climate denial may not have caused these fires and record floods and record hurricanes, but if he gets a second term, these hellish events will continue to become more common, more devastating, and more deadly.
President Trump in California today for a briefing on the wildfires, retweeting a climate change skeptic and instead blaming forest management for the deadly fires, burning more than 3 million acres in California alone.
Good, strong forest management, which I've been talking about for 3 years with the state, so hopefully they'll start doing that. In the meantime, we're helping them up.
At the same time, President Trump is drawing criticism for holding a large indoor rally overnight in Nevada with few masks, despite the state's ban on indoor gatherings of more than 50 people to slow the spread of coronavirus.
Tell your governor to open up your state.
The Trump campaign comparing the rally to racial justice protests and calling it a First Amendment right.
Biden's running mate, Senator Kamala Harris, is set to tour wildfire damage tomorrow in her home state of California, while President Trump will host a town hall with undecided voters in the must-win state of Pennsylvania. In Washington, Alice Barr, Local 4.
Okay, Alice, we have much more to come here on a Monday. Andrew's in for Ben tonight. Hi, Andrew.
Hello, Kimberly. Hello, Devin. We've got fuzzy sunshine overhead, but dry conditions as we go through the rest of the evening. How much cooler does it get tonight? What about rising temperatures for later this week? That and your 7-day forecast in minutes.
All right, Andrew, also, they know it won't bring him back, but it will at least give them closure. A family pleading for clues in a deadly hit-and-run case that's gone cold. Hank.
We have an important warning from the Better Business Bureau in a Help Me Hank scam alert. If you are looking to move, we have information to help protect you and your money from high-tech thieves.